Hey everybody, welcome back to another Dragon Ball unboxing. Today we have a special prize figure. We have the Dragon Ball GT Wrath of the Dragon prize figure, base Kid Goku from Dragon Ball GT, and Super Saiyan Kid Goku from Dragon Ball GT. I'm not a big GT fan. I love all things Dragon Ball, but I'm not a big fan of how GT played out. And I'm glad that it's technically not canon. I don't think it's been officially stated that it's not canon. However, I love the aesthetic of Dragon Ball GT. I liked the way the villains looked. I loved the baby arc. I loved the Shadow Dragon arc. And the idea of Kid Goku as a Super Saiyan and Super Saiyan 3 is really cool. And of course, I think everybody kind of likes Super Saiyan 4. And we all kind of hope eventually Akira Toriyama or someone at Toei makes Super Saiyan 4 canon in some shape or form. Please make Broly get it. But I'm excited to open these up. They looked really cool, but let's see what they look like after we take a look at the box, review the figure, compare it in size with some other Kid Goku / Super Saiyan 4 / GT figures that I have, and give our final score out of 7 Dragon Balls. Here's the front of the box. Here's the side of the box. Here's the back of the box. Here's the other side of the box. Here's the bottom of the box. Here's the top of the box. And right down there in the corners, I think it's the bottom right corners, I'm not sure, are the Toei animation stickers, letting you know these are legitimate figures and not bootlegs. So let's open them up and review each of them. Alright, so they're the same figure, body mold is the same, the only difference is their heads are different. But they each come in 3 pieces, their body, their tail, and their heads. They each come with 1 support stick and a base. Alright, we'll put both together and give our thoughts and feelings on each of them. Okay, so they are put together. Let's go into each of them. We'll talk about them holistically and go over the differences between both of the hair molds if it isn't obvious, and we'll give our thoughts and feelings on each. The mold is done really well. The only thing that I kind of don't like, his head seems kind of big for his body. I don't know if it's just me, but his head just looks kind of large. It's like a bobblehead Goku almost. Doesn't look bad. I would just say compared to the rest of his stubby little body, it's just kind of off. Maybe if it was just a little bit smaller, it would have come off a little bit better in my eyes. I don't know. The paint application is perfectly done though. The blue of his gi, the white of his belt, the yellow of his pants, shoes are nicely painted, his hair is good, wristbands look great. Everything looks pretty good when it comes to the paint application on the figure. Detail's pretty good too. You can see some damage around his gi. He's been fighting somebody, obviously. You can even see it around his wristbands. They actually went the whole mile to do all of the different strands of hair on his head, so it doesn't just look like a flat piece of hair or something on his head. I don't know. And they did a good amount of detail for his tail as well, which I really like. Shading's done pretty well. It looks like they used it sparingly, if they did. It's mostly on his body that you see shading. I don't see too much shading on his gi. I guess you can see some on his pants. Not a lot on his blue gi. His likeness is done very well though. And you can kind of see a difference between his base form's face and his Super Saiyan form's face. His base form's eyes are a little bit rounder, whereas his Super Saiyan form are a little more sharp and jagged because I guess he's a little angrier and more determined, which is a nice little detail that they made to make both figures different. The Super Saiyan face would probably look weird if it was the same eye structure as the base form face. You can even see his nose is a little more scrunched up, and his eyes are definitely more narrowed in. I like that quite a bit. Super Saiyan's hair has some shading in it, but not a lot. At least it's not noticeable. It's a little glossy, so it kind of pops out a little bit more, kind of a regular finish that they go with a lot of Super Saiyan heads. But I wish they kind of would have gone with what they did with the last prize figure I got, the Bardock, where it goes from dark to light yellow. But I guess this does fit the GT aesthetic. Super Saiyan and that was kind of like a banana yellow whenever they did it. I'd say it's about even when I look at both of them. They both have things that I like differently between the two, so I wouldn't say I like one over the other. Okay, so let's compare him to some other Goku figures and GT figures that I have within my collection for size and scale. If I did not compare him to figures that you've seen in my collection or that you've seen on my Instagram @MatchesPeaches, please direct message me on my Instagram. I will go ahead and send a picture of whatever figure that you've requested if I own it, so that you can kind of get a good idea of size and scale. All right, final thoughts. I'm gonna give both of these a 5 out of 7 ranking, 5 out of 7 Dragon Balls. The only points that I'm taking away is an apparent lack of shading. There's not a lot of shading, which I like in my figures. It kind of makes them pop and look a little more detailed, and their heads are kind of disproportional to their body, in my opinion. But otherwise, pretty good figures. I'm very happy with them. They're affordable. You can find them on eBay, which is where I got them, but I will leave links in the description below if you don't have this figure and would like to purchase him. If you do have this figure, please comment down below and let me know your thoughts about him, and help us join and grow our communities and the Facebook groups and Reddit pages that I will link in the description below as well. If you enjoyed this video, consider leaving a like and subscribe if you want to see more Dragon Ball unboxings. I will be uploading them almost daily if I can, as I collect quite a bit for my collection. But thanks again for watching, guys. We will see you next time. Bye-bye.